Mada was born in the highlands of Hirmel and Akkar in 1999, so over 25 years ago. It started off as a development and environmental protection project within communities that were historically marginalized, neglected, in a region where there were very few development actors, and in a society that was affected by several social, environmental, and economic pressures. Mada worked through a territorial approach, which means that no issue was looked at in isolation because everything is connected. Agriculture is linked to livelihoods. Food is linked to the environment. Mada eventually started working across the governorate, implementing projects that worked with communities, local authorities. There was a lot of focus on agriculture, on water, ecotourism, education, and so on. And in general, what we call community mobilization, which means that Mada came in as an external actor without the pretense of coming in and just making change. It tried to support and spark initiatives and ideas that already existed on the ground. Mada always worked through a community-led approach, and this is what led to the creation of the platform in 2004, when the team of Mada at the time realized that there were so many ideas, so many initiatives across sectors all over Lebanon, and that they needed support to develop themselves, to grow, and mostly to remain true to their visions and missions, and not to drown in bureaucracy and administrative work.
Airstrikes across Lebanon, including the capital, Beirut.
Fighting and the ground invasion in Lebanon will continue.
The face of war. More than 1 million people in Lebanon forced to move. Those who can't find shelter are in the streets.
It's a painful goodbye for some. They don't know when they will be reunited.
At times, wildfires that spread for kilometers burned for days. They weren't just caused by white phosphorus, but flare bombs too.
It destroys livestock and makes land unfit for sowing crops, potentially for at least a generation.
So, what the platform allowed us during the war to do was that we were able to support initiatives that were already in place and already supporting people on the ground. It was a support that was built on existing relationships that were already there. Most importantly, we tried to not take to the normal humanitarian approach, but also to do development, and so to work with those groups that are continuously working all over the year. And we make sure to maintain the links with the local food systems, with the partners they usually work with, the suppliers they usually work with. For us, humanitarian response and development cannot be separated, especially in the context of Lebanon, where crises are prolonged, repeated, and often affecting the same populations over and over.
We saw the challenges that the migrant workers were in. First thing is the food security. We started buying rice, lentils, eggs, and started distributing it all around Lebanon. 2023 led us to collaborate with Mada at the same time with Nation Station. Mada started giving us produce from the farmers. This recent war is very different because there are not even warnings where places are bombed. We had experience as Tres Marias while doing food distribution in Dahye, and they started bombing without warning. And it's very hard, because when it comes to crisis situation, the migrants are being left out.
نحن هيدي المبادرة بلشنا فيها وقت انفجار المرفأ، وصرنا نطبخ كل يوم لأهالي الحي وللناس اللي تهجرت من بيوتها، وانعرفنا بالتوزيعات اللي بنقوم فيها. نحن توزيعاتنا شاملة، كمان بنجيب من جمعية مدى اللي ما تركتنا برفقتنا تقريبا من وقت ما بلشنا. بيقدموا لنا دايما فاوتشر، بنجيب خضرة فيهم، بنجيب أوقات دجاج، بنجيب أوقات سلمون، هيدي لندعم سوق الموسم، ندعم المزارعين وندعم الناس اللي ما قادرة تشتري الخضرة. الحرب صراحة أثرت علينا كلياتنا، نحن بحاجة لكل أنواع الدعم وكل أنواع المساعدات. فصراحة نحن يعني أنا بحس هون هيدا المركز نحن معلنين حالة الطوارئ فيه، يعني أي شيء نحن مستعدين نقدمه. الناس قبل الحرب كانت شيء وهلأ عم تتراجع، يعني الوضع مش منيح صراحة بلبنان، كل الناس بتعرف هيدا الشيء. ونحن لازم نوقف مع بعض أكثر، نتكاتف أكثر لحتى نقدر نساعد بعض ونساعد الناس.
I joined and started managing this project that's called today the Kel Mazra'a. Basically, it's a solidarity grocery. We work with local producers that use sustainable practices. When the war happened, a lot of our producers lost some of their market. So we sold our healthy, locally produced, sustainable products from our producers at lower than market price. And the difference, the loss, was covered by the donations that we received from private donors or also NGO donors. But then also it was obvious that a lot of the displaced were not being taken care of. We designed the healthy baskets with the products from our producers and started distributing these healthy baskets according to the size of the families.
نحن استديو كونوكو نشتغل حفر وطباعة الأختام الخشبية. بالنسبة لفكرة الواقع اللي مرينا فيه، الحرب والظروف اللي كنا عم نمر فيها، يعني فكر الاستديو هون شو ممكن يقدر يقدم، خاصة إنه فترة كانت شتاء. نكون مثلا عم نشتغل أكثر على مساعدات من نوع بطانيات، أشياء ممكن تكون عم بتساعد بالبرد. يعني نتيجة أكيد الأوضاع قدمنا على جمعية مدى لنكون عم نحصل دونيشن. هاي دونيشن بنكون من خلالها قادرين نجيب الماتيريالز، قماش، بطانيات، وعلى أساسها كنا عم نشتغل على إنه نحصل هاي المواد الأولية ونكون عم نشتغل ضمن السبيس بين قص وخياطة.
صارت الحرب وبلش مطبخ ماما جاي عشان يعطي كل الأشخاص كوميونيتي وغير كوميونيتي. بتمنى ما يوقف، لأنه يعني في ناس كتير بحاجة لألو، الأشخاص الكوميونيتي اللي هن يعني ما بتوصلهم أي دعم، لا مادي لا معنوي لا أكيد ولا هيدا. فبتمنى إنه يبقى هيدا الشيء.
So a bit about Nation Station. It started as a response to the aftermath of the August 4th explosion. It's a grassroots initiative, a community-led effort from the founders around the neighborhood as a response to the damage that was done to support the local communities. It turned into a sort of hot meal making machine. We had to adapt a lot of the setup and the layout and even the function of Nation Station to try and output as many meals as we can, and with obviously support from the community, from volunteers to suppliers and our network of other kitchens as well. It was a community-led effort. Crisis is still ongoing. There's a lot of people that are displaced still, even if there's a half ceasefire going on. There's people that are homeless. So people don't think that there is still a crisis going on, so donations therefore decrease. So we have a bit of a challenge in terms of sort of monetary support.
اسمي منتهى ديب. عندنا هذا المطبخ اسمه مطبخ ستات. أول الحرب تم إنه دعمنا من قبل جمعية مدى. اشتغلنا كثير أول أسبوع أول يوم بالحرب تقريبا بلشنا شغل بالطبخ. هلا رضا يعني أنا كمطبخ انه عم نعمل الشيء اللازم لإلن لحتى لانه لو شيء بسيط نقدر ندعمن معنويا. يعني كثير يعني هن متاثرين، بيومتن راحت ما في رجعه لإلن نهائيه. نعمل الاكل بيجوا لعنا بياخذوا الاكل. صعوبات لقينا شوي فتره انه كان العدد اكبر وانا ما قدرتنا. احيانا يعني ما بنعطي فيه اشخاص انه بكون خلصت الوجبات. هلا بالنسبه للبطاقه الشرائيه كثير حلوه، كثير انبسطنا فيها. اول شيء انك انت عم تاخذ جوده الخضره، فالمزارعين عن جد بنتشكرن، يعني بيوصلونا اياها لهون، ما بنتغلب يعني، بس انه بيصل لهون وبجيب لي اياها. في اوجاع كثير بتسمعها، اللي راح ابنها، اللي راح يعني عدا الاكل بتحس بوجع اللي هو كيف بدنا نرجع، هل حنرجع ولا لا؟ هاي اسئله بتسالوني فيها، يعني انا بقول لهم ما عندنا جواب، ما فيني اجاوبن.
Funding and resources are increasingly limited while needs continue to rise. The war is not over, and even if it were to end at some point, the consequences, the pain that this war has caused, the destruction will last for years to come. The groups that we support, they're part of the community, so they're affected like communities by war. They're not actors that just exist suddenly if there's an emergency. So the support that they need is support that is long-term, sustained, flexible, based on trust, so that they can operate in this very difficult environment. When you're supporting this kind of response, you're not just supporting a response that is local, trusted, rooted, grounded. You're also supporting communities' right to agency, self-determination, and for a community's right to own and control their own future, their own well-being, and ultimately their own happiness.